Hello. I am your virtual digital assistant, and today, using my synthetic voice, I'll show you how to use this project. First of all, let me thank you for purchasing this product. If you have any questions or suddenly you find any errors, please contact the author of the project through his personal page on Envato. Well, let's begin. Unzip the archive downloaded from Videohive. You will see several versions of the project. Select the version that corresponds to the version of After Effects installed on your computer. All expressions universalized, so project will work in any language supported by Adobe. First of all, you need to put your images in the Your Footages folder. To do this, simply drag your images from Explorer window and place them in the appropriate folder in the project window. Now you need to put each of your images in the appropriate composition. To do this, open the folder, put your photo in these compositions in the project window. As you can see, in this project there are 3 kinds of scenes. Let's start with the first type, main. Open the subfolder, for main scenes, and double-click on the composition photo 1, to open it. Drag your images to the timeline panel and adjust it to fit. The most convenient way to do this is using the Ctrl-Shift-Alt-H, and Ctrl-Shift-Alt-G keys to automatically adjust picture width and height respectively. Well, one image is finished. Repeat this action as many times as you want to place the images in your slideshow. Let's move on to the scenes. In the project window, open the Scenes folder, select the main subfolder in it, and double-click on the Scene 01 composition to open. At the timeline panel, select the Scene Control layer to display all controllers in the Effect Controls window. If you do not see this window, go to Windows and find the corresponding line there. For greater clarity, let's put the time indicator at 6 seconds. In the main scenes there are 9 controllers, each of which gives the scene a unique look, and 3 additional ones, allowing to understand how the scene will look in the future, without leaving this composition. Let's take a look on these controllers. The first one, Form Circle, is responsible for creating a cut in the form of a circle in one click. For now, turn it off and move on to the next parameters. The following 6 controllers allow you to adjust the cutout shape. Form Sides responsible for the number of sides of this cut, and Form Roundness, for rounding the corners of the resulting shape. Form Size allows you to change the initial size of the cut, and Form Rotation, rotate it the way you want. With Form Position you can move the initial cutout and thereby change the focus area of the viewer's attention. But there are several restrictions written there, so that everything works correctly. Form Sharpness allows you to blur the edges of the cutout, which will help make it less noticeable, if you want. The Distance controller is responsible for the distance between the cutouts, which creates the depth of the composition and determines the number of displayed pieces in the scene. The larger this parameter, the farther each layer will be from the previous one. Scale Progression allow you to control the change in the size of the cutout, as it approaches the camera. The following 3 controllers allow you to see in advance how the scene will look at the end. They control the camera, and their names fully correspond to the functionality. Let's move on to Transitions. Open the Transitions folder in the project window and select one of 28 transitions. As an example, I will choose one of the more complex transitions. Double-click to open Transition 21. To place your scene in this transition, you need to open the composition. Put your scene comp here 21, by double-click on it on the timeline panel. Now select Scene 21 on the timeline, and in the project window find your customized scene. With the Alt key pressed, drag it to the timeline panel. OK, you can close this composition. Now move on to the transition setup. Select the Scene Controller layer, and in the Effect Controls window you will see all the parameters that can be customized. Position Animation at start turns on and off position animation of the scene during the movement of the transition. Easy in, easy out, easy ease, allows you to select one of the 3 presets for the transition animation speed. The following 3 parameters are responsible for configuring the form in which the transition is made. All parameters can be animated to get rid of the errors caused by the difference in forms. For example, let's turn off the form circle switch and put form sides on 5. Now our form cannot close the entire composition area. To get rid of this, let's take advantage of the parameters form roundness and form rotation. Put the keyframes at the beginning of the animation. Let's go to the 3 seconds mark and expose form roundness to 150, and form rotation to 15 degrees. Like this, you changed the original transition form, but did not lose any parts of the image. The max zoom parameter is responsible for how far the camera can approach the image. Invert zoom allows you to reflect the movement of the camera. Camera rotation at start point allows you to rotate the camera at the beginning of the transition. This makes it possible to additionally adjust the rotation of the scene, but for large values it does not work correctly. Better use the rotation at start controller. Shadow color allows you to adjust the shadow that is dropped on the layer, what will be under this transition, and shadow opacity, shadow distance, and shadow softness will help to give it the look that you want. The rotation at start controller rotates the scene at the beginning of the transition. Try not to drive too large values, as this can distract the viewer and sometimes even not allow the form to cover the whole area of the composition. Tint maximum is a parameter that allows you to specify the maximum discoloration of the lower parts of the transition. So, with transitions we are figured out. Let's pick up some text animation, suitable for our scene. Expand the text presets folder in the project window, select the appropriate preset, and double-click it. As an example, I'll select Title 30. It's simple, replace the standard text with your own, in the layers Title 30, and Subtitle 30. Some presets may require adjustment, because the length of your text has been changed. But don't worry, this can be done very simply. You can find out such presets by having, in addition to text, another layer. Click on it, and in the Effect Controls panel, you will find customizable parameters. For example, in this preset, you have to return the start and end points of the frame lines to the middle. Just twist this controller. If at this time you press the Control key, the changes will be slower. With the adjustment of the text finished, let's put it in our scene. Open the previously set up Scene 01 composition, and transfer the Title 30 composition above the scene control layer. Press F4 to see additional layer parameters. At the Title 30 layer, put a cube in the appropriate box. Arrange the text as you want, fit and adjust its size. To display the position and size parameters, first press the P key, then press Shift and S simultaneously. That's it, your scene and transition are ready. You can create the rest. Now, when you know how this is done, the process will go much faster. Let's look at 2 additional kinds of scenes. Open the Scenes folder in the project window, a subfolder of extras. Here you see 2 subfolders. Let's analyze them in order. Heart Scenes contains 2 scenes and 2 transitions to them. The cutouts of these scenes are made in the form of hearts, in case you want to make a romantic slideshow. There are 14 scenes in the Scenes based on Picture Colors folder. From the title, it is clear that here the breakdown into layers does not take place according to a given form, but depending on which image you choose. Very interesting effect, I advise you to try. These scenes can be used both with transitions, and without them, since they themselves have animation. Correctly picking up the picture, you can get rid of the sharp edge at the end of the image. And, of course, we have additional elements that will decorate your video. Open the Extras folder in the project window and you will find 2 folders. In the first there are 5 animated highlights, the color of which you can change in the settings of the effect hue, saturation. Also, these highlights can be used as transitions, since at the end they have specially tuned parameters that highlight the entire picture, masking the change of scenes. In the second folder you find two compositions with animated shapes for creating particles. In the first composition, the animation goes only one way, in the second one, back and forth. Each of these elements you can use to create gorgeous and interesting particles for your scene. To create particles, first of all, choose the item you like, select it, press Ctrl-Shift-C, to create the pre-composition. In the menu that opens, select Move All Attributes into the new composition, tick the Adjust Composition Duration to the time span of the selected layers and click OK. In the opened composition, under the preview window, select the tool to the right of the word, Full, Region of Interest, and using it, select the zone around the element, leaving a little bit free space. Go to the Composition tab and select Crop Comp to Region of Interest. If you want, you can reduce the size of the element and trim the composition again. This will save you computer resources. Transfer this composition to the desired scene and turn off its visibility by clicking on the eye icon of the layer in the timeline panel. Now, with the keyboard shortcut Ctrl-Y, create a new solid layer. Click Make Comp Size to make a layer of the same size as the composition. If you have a third-party plugin, Trapcode Particular, installed, apply it to this layer. If not, do not worry. In the standard CC particle world you can do absolutely the same thing. Set the emitter type, box, make all velocity equal to 0, and adjust the emitter dimensions so that it covers the entire composition. Set the position Z, as you like. Expand the emission extras item, and make pre-run equal to 100. Now go to particle. Make life is equal to 20 seconds. Increase life random, so that the life expectancy of each particle is different. In the particle type column, select textured polygon fill, and in the texture item, in the layer sub-item, select the composition with your particle. Time sampling, set to random loop. You can adjust the color of the particles with the color parameter. There are too much of particles, and therefore we return to the very top, and reduce the value of the parameter, particles per second. You can still play around with the parameters of this plugin, for example adjust the particle size, or make them move as you want. There is only one folder left unexplored, and this is, Other. This folder is only for everything working well, and you don't need to worry about it, just do not delete its contents. Well, on this instruction for working with this project comes to its end. Play with all the parameters, create your own unique appearance of scenes and transitions, be creative. See you soon in the new project, and do not forget to rate this work on the site. Peace.